Et ça, nous ne comptons que sur vous les jeunes. Je disais tout de suite donc aux parrains et à la marraine que j'allais forcer la main à ces grands opérateurs économiques du pays, et je pense que certains sont là. Donc apprêtez-vous, on va vous forcer la main pour créer des initiatives donc.
Are all African leaders truly serving the interests of Africans? Or are there some that cater to Western interests? Many African countries are controlled by leaders who act as puppets for foreign powers. When forming unions like the Sahel Confederation, these dynamics become evident. Recently, when President Traore had to select nations to join the Sahel Confederation, he openly rejected 2 countries. This move exposed how these nations were working to further Western interests. But which 2 nations were these? On what basis did Traore reject them? Let's find out. President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has revealed significant developments about the Sahel Confederation. This revelation highlights the next country poised to join the Confederation and explicitly names 2 West African nations that will not be part of this union. This unexpected declaration promises to reshape the political landscape of West Africa, emphasizing unity based on cultural and economic similarities while rejecting external influences. The Sahel Confederation currently includes Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and is seen as a collective of nations sharing similar cultural, economic, and social foundations. President Traore's vision for the Sahel Confederation is rooted in the long-standing goal of African unity. By establishing a confederation based on shared cultural and economic levels, he aims to create a stable and equitable union. This vision includes rejecting the inclusion of nations with significantly different economic standings, thus ensuring mutual respect and equality among member states. Traore's announcement not only outlines the criteria for membership in the Sahel Confederation, but also highlights the importance of self-reliance and the eradication of external economic exploitation. But there are details no one knows about and reasons yet to be known. So, let's talk about it all in detail. Firstly, what is the significance of President Traore's announcement regarding the Sahel Confederation? The Prime Minister's speech during the meeting in Niger emphasized the importance of unity and the specific criteria for the Sahel Confederation's expansion. As we said earlier, Traore's vision includes rejecting the inclusion of nations with significantly different economic standings and ensuring that only countries with similar development stages and cultural habits can form a stable and equitable union. This principle rules out countries like Ghana and Ivory Coast, which, despite being geographically close, have different economic levels and cultural practices. Traore's reasoning is clear. Only nations with similar development stages and cultural habits can form a stable and equitable union.
They approached us and asked us to enter the ranks to make the elite leave that must lead Africa. Because they have an elite formed and formatted that must follow, that is embedded in this chain. We refused to enter their ranks. And then the hostilities began.
President Traore's announcement highlights the broader goal of eradicating external economic exploitation, particularly French imperialism, from Burkina Faso. By excluding economically stronger nations, Traore aims to avoid economic imperialism within the Union, fostering an environment of mutual respect and equality. This strategic move aligns with his anti-colonial sentiments and his commitment to a grassroots approach to governance and development. By establishing a union based on shared cultural and economic levels, Traore aims to create a stable and equitable confederation that is free from external influences and financial exploitation. This does hint that the nations excluded are allowing French exploitation, so letting them join doesn't look like a good option. But we still need a deep understanding. Why were Ghana and Ivory Coast excluded from the Sahel Confederation? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Black culture, history, civilization, and identity. Let's continue now. The French colonization of Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire began in the 1840s and lasted until the country gained independence in 1960. However, France's influence continued even after independence through economic and political ties, significantly shaping the nation's course and its current exclusion from the Sahel Confederation. France made initial contact in 1637 when missionaries landed near the Gold Coast, now Ghana. They established a mission in 1687 and a fort in 1701, setting the stage for deeper colonial ambitions. Ivory Coast became a French protectorate in 1843 and was consolidated as a French colony in 1893 during the scramble for Africa. This period marked significant French expansion and control over Ivorian territory. The French imposed their culture and language on Ivorian society, aiming to transform Ivorians into Black French through policies of domination and assimilation. This cultural imposition sought to integrate the Ivory Coast more deeply into the French colonial empire. It exploited Ivory Coast's rich agricultural economy, using direct colonial rule to control administration, economics, and culture. The French focus on economic exploitation ensured that Ivory Coast remained a crucial supplier of resources for the French economy. After gaining independence in 1960, the Ivory Coast maintained close political economic ties with France. The country uses the CFA franc, a currency pegged to the euro and guaranteed by the French treasury, illustrating the continued economic influence of France over Ivorian affairs. In contrast, France had less direct control over neighboring Ghana, which was a British colony known as the Gold Coast, until it gained independence in 1957. Despite the different colonial masters, both countries experienced the imposition of European culture and economic exploitation. But the nature and extent of this influence varied. The British approach to colonial rule in Ghana focused on indirect control, utilizing local leaders within the colonial administration. This method differed from the direct rule exercised by the French in the Ivory Coast, resulting in distinct post-colonial trajectories for the two countries. France's influence in West Africa, including Ghana, grew through regional organizations like the Council of the Entente, which Ivory Coast helped establish in 1959. This organization aimed to foster economic cooperation among French-speaking West African countries, further entrenching French influence in the region. While Ghana and Ivory Coast had different colonial experiences, the legacies of European cultural and economic exploitation continue to shape both countries today. These historical ties to European powers have created distinct economic and cultural profiles that differ from those of the Sahel Confederation members. The continued influence of France in Ivory Coast, particularly through economic mechanisms like the CFA franc, underscores why countries like Ivory Coast are seen as incompatible with the vision of the Sahel Confederation. This confederation aims to foster unity based on shared cultural and economic similarities, free from the remnants of colonial exploitation and external influence. Thus, President Traore's exclusion of Ghana and Ivory Coast from the Sahel Confederation is rooted in the historical context of colonialism and its enduring impact. The Sahel Confederation seeks to build a union of nations that share similar cultural and economic foundations, ensuring a stable and equitable partnership free from external domination.
De Côte d'Ivoire n'a rien à voir aujourd'hui avec celle d'il y a 10 ans et au regard des décisions politiques.
The army of Côte d'Ivoire has nothing to do with that of 10 years ago. And for now, it makes Côte d'Ivoire a country of stability, a country in which trade and document a common security agenda. Thus, the role of regional power of balance is increasingly established.
Apart from this, Burkina Faso has been notably vocal about resisting French control and influence in their homeland. This strong stance against neo-colonialism has been a defining characteristic of their current administration, led by President Ibrahim Traore. Traore's government has consistently called out the detrimental effects of French policies and presence in the region, arguing that they perpetuate economic dependency and undermine national sovereignty. This vocal opposition has garnered support from the Burkinabe population, who see it as a necessary step towards true independence and self-determination. In stark contrast, neighboring countries such as Ivory Coast and Ghana appear to have adopted different approaches to their relationship with France. Ivory Coast, for instance, has been under substantial French influence for decades, maintaining close economic and political ties with its former colonizer. This relationship has not been without controversy, as many Ivorians feel that their country's sovereignty is compromised by the lingering presence of French interests. Recently, these tensions have escalated, with the Ivory Coast becoming involved in violent activities within Burkina Faso. These actions are widely perceived as being driven by French pressure, aimed at destabilizing Burkina Faso's anti-neocolonial stance and maintaining French dominance in the region. On the other hand, Ghana's leadership has exhibited a notably different attitude. The current government in Ghana has shown a pronounced affinity towards France, openly expressing positive sentiments and fostering close diplomatic and economic relationships. This pro-French stance is seen in various aspects of their foreign policy and bilateral agreements, which some critics argue align Ghana more closely with Western interests than with the Pan-African ideals of unity and self-reliance. Ghanaian leaders have often highlighted the benefits of their relationship with France, citing economic aid, development projects, and educational exchanges as key advantages. This stark difference in attitudes towards French influence highlights why Ivory Coast and Ghana may not align with the vision of a new independent African Union championed by Burkina Faso. Their current political stances and actions indicate a significant divergence from the anti-neocolonial sentiments driving Burkina Faso's policies. While Burkina Faso seeks to forge a path free from external control, prioritizing African unity and self-determination, Ivory Coast and Ghana seem content to maintain their established relationships with France. This divergence raises important questions about the future of regional cooperation and the potential for a unified stance against neocolonialism in West Africa.
Shifting focus to Burkina Faso in West Africa. The country's military leader, Ibrahim Traore, has leveled strong accusations against France. He has accused the former colonial power of destabilizing his country. Traore says France is destabilizing Burkina Faso with support from West African nations Benin and Ivory Coast. He also claimed to have evidence for the same. Traore said that France has set up 2 secret military bases in Benin that are directed against Burkina Faso.
While the exclusion of Ghana and Ivory Coast is a strategic move to maintain the Confederation's balance, it also opens the door for new potential members who share the same cultural and economic characteristics. One new member is Chad. How does Chad fit into the Sahel Confederation's vision? Chad has emerged as a potential new member of the Sahel Confederation. During discussions with Chad's Minister of Culture, President Traore extended an invitation to join the Union. This invitation highlights the shared cultural and regional ties between Chad and the current members of the Confederation, despite Chad not being part of the West African ECOWAS bloc. Chad's inclusion in the Sahel Confederation marks a significant shift in regional dynamics, emphasizing the importance of cultural and regional ties in the Confederation's expansion. Chad's potential membership in the Sahel Confederation is significant for several reasons. Firstly, Chad shares many characteristics and challenges with the Sahel region, including similar cultural and economic foundations. This alignment makes Chad a suitable candidate for the Confederation, enhancing the Union's cultural cohesion and regional influence. Secondly, Chad's inclusion would strengthen the Confederation's resilience against external influences and economic exploitation, aligning with Traore's vision of a self-reliant and equitable union. The potential membership of Chad also emphasizes the importance of shared security challenges in the Sahel region. Chad, like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, faces significant security threats from terrorism and armed conflicts. By joining the Sahel Confederation, Chad can contribute to a collective approach to security, enhancing the Confederation's ability to combat external threats and maintain stability. This focus on shared security challenges is a key motivator for the Confederation, fostering a sense of unity and collective defense among the member states. Chad's inclusion in the Sahel Confederation also highlights the importance of cultural and regional ties in the Union's expansion. Traore's vision is to create a confederation based on common identity and mutual support, strengthening the region's resilience against external influences and economic exploitation. Chad's potential membership aligns with this vision, enhancing the Confederation's cultural cohesion and expanding its regional influence. As we explore the potential new members of the Sahel Confederation, it is essential to understand the underlying anti-colonial sentiments driving President Traore's vision and the broader implications for the region. What role do anti-colonial sentiments play in Traore's vision for the Sahel Confederation? President Traore's announcement is deeply rooted in anti-colonial sentiments, particularly against French influence in West Africa. He criticizes the French-style constitutions imposed on Burkina Faso and advocates for a grassroots approach to constitutional reform. Traore believes that the people of Burkina Faso should decide how they want to be governed, potentially adopting governance models rooted in African traditions rather than Western democratic frameworks. This anti-colonial stance is a driving force behind the formation and expansion of the Sahel Confederation, reflecting Traore's commitment to self-reliance and independence from external influences. Traore's emphasis on constitutional reforms reflects his commitment to a more inclusive and participatory governance model. By involving the people in the decision-making process, he aims to create a government that truly represents the will of the people and is responsive to their needs and aspirations. This grassroots approach to governance is a key aspect of his vision for the Sahel Confederation, ensuring that the union is built on a solid foundation of mutual respect and equality. By rejecting external influences and focusing on self-reliance, Traore aims to create a union that is free from economic exploitation and political domination. Traore's anti-colonial sentiments also extend to his broader goal of eradicating French imperialism from Burkina Faso. By excluding economically stronger nations like Ghana and Ivory Coast, Traore aims to prevent economic imperialism within the Union, fostering an environment of mutual respect and equality among member states. This strategic move aligns with his commitment to governance and development, ensuring that the Confederation is built on a solid foundation of shared cultural and economic values. By focusing on countries with similar cultural and economic foundations, Traore aims to create a stable and equitable confederation that is free from external influences and financial exploitation.
Nous célébrons donc cette journée dans un contexte un peu particulier, comme les prédécesseurs l'ont signifié, ce contexte de conflit. Ce conflit que nous qualifions que autre chose que la manifestation violente, barbare de l'impérialisme, du néocolonialisme, de l'esclavage qu'on tend à nous imposer aujourd'hui. Ce que nous avons qualifié terrorisme.
With a clear understanding of the anti-colonial sentiments driving Traore's vision, it is crucial to examine the security challenges in the Sahel region and the Confederation's approach to addressing them. So, how does the Sahel Confederation plan to address the security challenges in the region? The Sahel region has faced significant security challenges, particularly from terrorism and armed conflicts. President Traore criticizes ECOWAS and its Western backers for their inadequate support in combating terrorism since 2012. He highlights Burkina Faso's efforts to enhance security measures, including recruiting nearly 100,000 civilian volunteers to bolster the country's defense capabilities. The Sahel Confederation aims to address these security challenges through a collective approach, emphasizing self-reliance and mutual support among its member states. Traore's vision for the Sahel Confederation includes strengthening regional cooperation on security matters. By pooling resources and coordinating efforts, the Confederation can enhance its security measures and effectively combat external threats. This focus on shared security challenges is a key motivator for the Confederation, fostering a sense of unity and collective defense among the member states. By working together, the member states can develop a comprehensive and coordinated strategy to address the region's security challenges, enhancing the Confederation's ability to maintain stability and security. The emphasis on self-reliance in Traore's vision for the Sahel Confederation also extends to the region's security challenges. By focusing on shared cultural and economic values, the Confederation aims to create a stable and equitable union that is free from external influences and economic exploitation. This vision aligns with Traore's anti-colonial sentiments and his commitment to a grassroots approach to governance and development, ensuring that the Confederation is built on a solid foundation of mutual respect and equality. By pooling resources and coordinating efforts, the Confederation can enhance its security measures and effectively combat external threats, fostering a sense of unity and collective defense among the member states. Traore's vision for the Sahel Confederation also includes strengthening regional cooperation on security matters. By working together, the member states can develop a comprehensive and coordinated strategy to address the region's security challenges. This approach not only enhances the Confederation's security capabilities, but also reinforces the sense of unity and mutual support among the member states. By focusing on shared cultural and economic values, the Confederation aims to create a stable and equitable union that is free from external influences and economic exploitation. Do you think rejecting nations from joining the Union is good for the Union? Should all be allowed to come? Let us know in the comment section. Are all African nations focused on Africa's interests, or are some working to only make France happy? Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If so, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: the Black culture, civilization, history, and evidence about how glorious Blacks have been. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.